English podcast
from Learn English with Joy.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Learn English with Joy. I'm Chris, and as always, I'm here with my amazing co-host, Emily.
Hi friends, I'm so glad you're here with us today. Whether you're walking, cooking, or just relaxing with a cup of tea, we're happy to be a part of your English journey.
Let's start with a question. Have you ever felt frustrated while listening to English? You play a video, and after 1 minute, your brain feels tired. You miss some words, you rewind, then you miss them again.
Yes, you try so hard to understand, but sometimes it feels like your ears just aren't ready yet. We get it, because we've been there too. And you're definitely not alone.
In fact, we've talked to so many learners who say, I listen every day, but I still don't improve. I watch English shows, but I don't catch what they're saying. Sound familiar?
That's why we created this episode. Maybe you're making one of these 5 common listening mistakes. But don't worry, we're here to help you fix them.
Today we'll go through each mistake step by step, explain what's really happening, and give you simple strategies that actually work. No stress, no pressure, just real, practical help.
And as always, we'll share some useful vocabulary and a fun quiz at the end. So grab your notebook, or just sit back and listen.
Let's get into it. The 5 listening mistakes English learners make and how to fix them.
And as always, we'll share some useful vocabulary and a fun quiz at the end. So grab your notebook, or just sit back and listen.
Mistake number 1, listening without a purpose, also known as passive listening. You might think listening is listening, right? But actually, how you listen makes all the difference.
Let me paint a picture. Imagine you're making dinner. You hit play on a YouTube video in English. 10 minutes go by, you finish chopping the vegetables, and suddenly you realize you don't remember a single word from the video.
Exactly. We've all done it. That's passive listening, when your ears hear the sound, but your brain isn't really involved. It's like background music. You're not focused, so your brain doesn't store the information. It just floats away.
And here's the thing. Passive listening doesn't help you much. Why? Because learning a language isn't about hearing sounds. It's about making connections. Connections between words and meaning. Between sound and context.
When we listen passively, our brain isn't doing that work. It's just relaxing. And sure, it might feel productive to play English audio while doing other tasks. But if you're not truly focused, it's not real learning.
So, what's the solution? We need to turn passive listening into active listening. And that starts with one simple change. Have a goal every time you listen.
For example, today I'll listen for 5 new words. I want to understand the main idea of this podcast. I'll focus on how the speakers ask questions. Just one small goal can make your brain pay attention in a new way.
Here's another tip. Start a listening journal. After each video, podcast, or story, write down
1 main idea you heard, 3 new words or phrases, and 1 question, what did I learn from this episode? That's such a powerful habit. It makes you reflect, not just consume. And when you write it down, your brain stores it longer.
You don't need a fancy notebook. Use your phone, Google Docs, or even sticky notes. What matters is consistency. Make it your little end-of-listening ritual.
Here's a quick example. Let's say you listened to a 5-minute podcast about morning routines. In your journal, you might write, Main idea. The speaker talks about how to start your day with energy. New words. Energize. Stretch. Focus. What I learned. Morning habits can improve your mood, and listening in the morning helps me feel motivated.
I love that. Simple, clear, and powerful. The more you do this, the more you'll notice real progress. Suddenly, English isn't just noise, it's meaningful.
So remember, friends, next time you hit play, ask yourself, why am I listening to this? Give your brain a reason to focus, and it will thank you.
Coming up next, mistake number 2. It's one that almost every learner has made, including us. Stay tuned.
Mistake number 2, focusing too much on every single word. Now, we know this sounds a little strange. Isn't that a good thing? Shouldn't you try to understand every word? Great question. It's natural to want to understand everything, but the truth is, if you focus on every single word, you might actually miss the message. Here's what usually happens. You're listening to a podcast, you hear a new word, you pause, you open your dictionary, then you rewind. And then it happens again and again.
And by the time you finish the first 2 minutes, 20 minutes have passed. You've spent more time translating than listening. That's not only exhausting, it also breaks your focus and confidence.
Exactly. When you pause too often, you lose the flow of the conversation. Instead of hearing the music of the language, you get stuck in the words. It's like trying to enjoy a song by analyzing every single note. You miss the feeling.
We're not saying ignore everything, but you don't need to understand 100% to learn. Focus instead on what we call the big picture.
Yes. Focus on keywords. What are the most important words that repeat? Tone and intonation. Is the speaker excited? Serious? Asking a question? Context. What's the topic? What's happening in the situation?
Let's try a simple comparison. Imagine watching a movie with English subtitles. You probably don't stop the movie every 5 seconds to translate a line, right?
Of course not. You keep going. You get the meaning from the visuals, the music, the tone, the context, and even if you miss a word or two, you still enjoy the story.
That's exactly how you should approach listening. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for understanding the message.
Here's a great exercise you can try today. Choose a short audio clip, maybe 1 minute long. Listen to it without pausing. Then, take a deep breath and try to retell the story in your own words.
Don't worry about perfect grammar or remembering everything. Just ask yourself, who was speaking? What were they talking about? How did they feel?
This kind of exercise trains your brain to listen for meaning, not for words. And that's the secret to real comprehension.
And one more thing. Sometimes you'll hear a phrase like, let it go. That's not about giving up. It's about not getting stuck. Let go of the pressure to understand everything right now.
Because the more you practice this way, the easier it gets. Soon, your brain will start filling in the blanks on its own. That's how fluency grows, from trust, not from perfection.
So if you're someone who's been stopping every few seconds to check the dictionary, we see you, and we get it. But try this. Just once. Listen without stopping. Listen for the message. Then write down what you remember. You might be surprised.
Coming up next, mistake number 3, and it's a trap that many learners fall into. You might be doing it right now without realizing it. Don't go anywhere. All right, let's talk about mistake number 3, only listening once.
Yes, this one is so common. You listen to a podcast or watch a video once and then move on to something new. You feel like, well, I heard it. Next. But here's the thing. Listening just once isn't enough.
Why not? Because your brain needs repetition to truly learn. Think about it. When you learn a new word, do you remember it after hearing it just one time? Probably not. The same goes for listening. Your brain needs to hear things again to make deeper connections.
Sometimes learners avoid repeating because they're afraid of getting bored. I already listened to this. Why do it again? But repetition doesn't have to be boring. In fact, when you listen again with a purpose, you notice things you didn't catch the first time.
Let us introduce you to the 3-step listening method. It's simple and it works.
Step 1. Listen without stopping. No subtitles, no pausing. Just sit back and absorb the overall message. Ask yourself, what is this about? What's the main idea?
Step 2. Listen again with subtitles or a transcript. Now is the time to go deeper. Look at how the speakers pronounce certain words. Notice new phrases. Write them down. Pause if you need to, but only to check something specific.
Step 3. Listen a third time, without subtitles. Now your brain already knows what to expect. This time, Test yourself. How much can you understand now? You'll probably hear more clearly, understand faster, and even catch extra details.
This triple listen strategy turns one short video into a powerful learning session. And it doesn't have to take long. Even 5 minutes is enough. Here's a tip. Pick something you actually enjoy. Maybe it's a podcast about cooking or a short video with a topic you love, like travel, animals, or productivity. If it's interesting, repetition won't feel boring. It'll feel like discovery. You might even start noticing how English speakers pause, connect their words, or change their tone. That kind of listening skill only comes with repetition.
So don't fall into the one and done trap. Real learning comes from revisiting content, and each time you listen, you build stronger skills and more confidence.
Coming up next, mistake number 4. It's not just about what you hear, but how you hear it. We'll explain more right after this.
All right, let's talk about mistake number 4. Ignoring pronunciation and rhythm. This mistake happens when learners focus only on understanding individual words, but forget to pay attention to how native speakers actually say them.
Let's try a quick quiz. Have you ever heard someone say wanna and felt confused? Or maybe gonna, lemme, or didja?
These are connected speech forms, when native speakers speak quickly and blend their words together. So, I want to go becomes I want to go. Let me help you becomes let me help you. Did you eat? Sounds like did ya eat?
Now here's the problem. Even if you know the words want and to, you might not recognize wanna when you hear it. Your brain is trained to expect textbook English, but real-life English sounds different.
Why does this happen? Because native speakers speak with rhythm, intonation, and connected sounds. They don't pronounce every word clearly like in a dictionary.
So, if you only focus on vocabulary, you miss the real music of English, and that makes conversations harder to follow.
So how do we fix this? One of the most powerful techniques is called shadowing.
Shadowing means 1. You listen to a sentence. 2. You immediately repeat it out loud, with the same rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation. It's like becoming the speaker's echo.
You're not just copying words, you're copying how they say them, their speed, their pauses, their energy. It feels a little strange at first, but it works.
Here's a simple exercise. Find a short video clip, about 30 seconds long. It could be from a podcast, a TV show, or a YouTube video. Step 1. Watch it once and listen. Step 2. Turn on the subtitles and watch again. Step 3. Play it line by line. Pause after each sentence and repeat it out loud, just like the speaker.
Try to match every detail, not just the words, but the feeling behind them. Are they excited, serious, casual? You're training your mouth, your ears, and your brain, all at the same time.
This technique helps you recognize real-world English when you hear it. You'll stop getting lost in fast conversations because your brain is now used to those natural speech patterns.
And more than that, it actually helps your speaking, too. When you copy native rhythm, you start sounding more natural yourself.
So next time you hear gonna, don't panic. Smile and say, ah, that's just how English flows. Then try saying it yourself. I'm gonna do it. Feels better already, right?
Absolutely. So don't just listen for meaning. Listen for melody. Because English isn't just a language. It's a rhythm, a beat, a song.
Coming up next, our final mistake. It's something many learners skip, but it's the secret to long-term progress. Stay with us. Mistake number 5, not reviewing or reflecting after listening.
Let's be honest. How many times have you listened to something in English, felt good about it, and then forgot everything the next day?
Exactly. You finish listening, feel proud, and then move on. No pause, no reflection. Just on to the next thing.
And here's why that's a problem. Your brain needs time to process what you just heard. Without reflection, the new words and ideas you just learned, they fade away. The science is simple. If you don't review it, you lose it.
Think of your brain like a sponge. After listening, it's full of water, ideas, sounds, new words. But if you don't squeeze it a little, write, think, reflect, the water leaks out.
So how do we fix this? The answer is super simple. Build a small review habit after every listening session. Even something as short as one sentence can make a big difference.
Here's a great way to start. After listening, write down this one sentence. Today, I learned. Then finish it with one thing that stuck with you. It could be a new word, a phrase, an idea, or even just a feeling.
For example, today I learned that gonna means going to in fast speech. Or, today I learned that I understand better when I listen 3 times. That's it. Simple, quick, effective.
And if you want to go a step further, create a weekly review page. Each week, write down the new vocabulary you heard, example sentences using those words, a short summary of your favorite episode or video.
It doesn't have to be perfect. You're not writing an essay. You're training your brain to remember. And the more you do it, the more confident you'll feel when those words come up again.
Now, let's talk tools. You can use whatever works best for you. A notebook or journal, the Notes app on your phone, Google Docs or Notion, even sticky notes on your desk.
The key is not what you use, but that you actually use it. Just 5 minutes after listening can turn a passive habit into real progress.
So the next time you finish listening to an episode, don't just hit next. Take a breath, write one line, reflect. It's the final step that most learners miss, and it's the one that helps you grow the most.
And with that, we've covered all 5 listening mistakes and how to fix them. But before we wrap up, let's test your understanding with a fun quiz and some useful vocabulary.
But first, let me tell you a quick story. It's about one of our listeners. Her name is Maria. She's from Russia, and she's been learning English for years.
When Maria first wrote to us, she said something that really stood out. I've been listening to English for 3 years, but I still can't understand movies or real conversations. I feel stuck.
And when we asked her how she practiced listening, her answer was familiar. I listen to YouTube videos while cooking or scrolling my phone. I always pause when I don't understand. I try to look up every new word, but honestly, I forget most of them.
Maria was making all 5 of the mistakes we talked about today. Passive listening, focusing on every word, only listening once, ignoring rhythm, and never reviewing. But you know what? She didn't give up.
Instead, she made one small change at a time. First, she started using shadowing. Every morning, she listened to a short video and repeated it out loud. Then, she created a simple listening journal. After each session, she wrote down one idea and 3 new words. She also followed the 3-step listening method, first without subtitles, then with them, and finally without again.
And here's what happened. After 6 months of consistent, focused listening, Maria messaged us again. This time she said, I just watched a TEDx talk with subtitles and understood 80% of it. I even laughed at the jokes. It's the first time I felt confident listening to real English.
She went from overwhelmed to empowered. And not because she learned 1,000 new words, but because she changed how she listened.
So if you're feeling stuck like Maria once did, remember, small changes, done consistently, lead to real progress.
And just like Maria, you can do it too. All right, are you ready for today's vocabulary quiz? First word, focus. To give your full attention to something. Example, focus on the speaker, not your phone.
Next, passive, not active or involved. Example, passive listening means just hearing without thinking.
Here's a useful one, context. The situation or background where something happens. Example, guess unknown words from the context.
Word 4, transcript. Written version of spoken words. Example, read the transcript to check what you missed.
Now let's try shadowing. Repeat what you hear right after the speaker. Example, shadowing helps you speak like a native.
Next, rhythm. the natural beat or flow of speech. Example: English rhythm is different from your native language.
Here's a fun one. Chunk. A short group of words that go together. Example: learn chunks like "how are you" instead of each word.
Word 8. Review. To look again at something you learned. Example: review new words every week to remember them.
Almost there. Summarize. Say the main points in short form. Example: try to summarize the story in one sentence.
And the last one, distraction. Something that takes your focus away. Example: noise is a big distraction when listening.
Well done, everyone. Even if you didn't know all the words today, don't worry. You can review this section again and even try making your own examples.
And remember, the more you use these words, the faster they'll become part of your English brain.
That's a wrap for today's quiz and today's episode.
Let's do a quick review. Today, we talked about the 5 most common listening mistakes English learners make.
1. Listening without a purpose. Fix it by setting a small goal every time you listen. 2. Focusing too much on every word. Fix it by listening for the main idea and using context.
3. Only listening once. Fix it by repeating the same content using the 3-step method. 4. Ignoring pronunciation and rhythm. Fix it by shadowing native speakers and copying their flow. 5. Not reviewing after listening to it by writing down what you learned and doing weekly reviews.
All of these mistakes are common and totally fixable. The key is to notice them and then change how you listen, step by step.
So here's your challenge. This week, pick just one podcast episode. Listen to it 3 times. First, without subtitles. Second, with subtitles. And third, without them again. Then write 1 sentence. Today, I learned... That's it.
Don't be afraid of mistakes. Fix them one at a time. And remember, every small step is still a step forward. You've got this. Keep listening, keep learning, and we'll see you in the next episode of Learn English with Joy.
Take care and happy listening. Chris, before we say goodbye, I just want to remind our listeners of something really important.
Go for it, Emily.
If you're learning English and sometimes feel like you're not good enough or you're afraid of speaking out loud, please remember this. Progress matters more than perfection. Truly.
Absolutely. You don't need perfect grammar or a big vocabulary to start speaking. What you do need is a little courage and the willingness to try.
Even if you just say 1 sentence today, that's already a win. That's already growth.
It reminds me of a quote by author and researcher Brené Brown. She said, "There is no innovation and creativity without failure. Period."
Yes, that applies so much to language learning. You can't improve without making mistakes. It's part of the process. In fact, it is the process.
So if you mess up a sentence, good. That means you're trying. You're doing the real work. And every small effort builds something bigger.
To everyone listening, your journey is your own. Don't compare, don't rush, keep showing up.
And today, we want to gently challenge you. Say 1 sentence in English out loud. Just 1. For example, you could say, "I'm learning English, and I'm proud of it."
Exactly. Say it in your room, whisper it on your walk, or tell it to a friend. Because every time you speak, you're 1 step closer.
We're proud of you. Thanks for letting us be part of your journey.
Keep learning, keep growing, and we'll see you in the next episode of Learn English with Joy.